favorite, I always say I got one of my favorite guys or favorite dudes or women. This is one of my favorites right here. And Derek Sullinger, because let me tell you why. Former Celtic, let me tell you why he was one of my favorites. Because he was just like me. He was arrogant. He was cocky. He came in knowing it all, and he was a bitch around that hole. How you doing, young man?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing just fine, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've been doing, and your weight loss. First of all, how much are you down weight wise?
I'm down to 260 right now. I'm down to 260. And I'm just, honestly just being a dad, man. Just learning how to be an athlete and a dad at the same time, and just waiting for a shot, waiting for a phone call to play some basketball here soon.
Man, that's incredible when you think about it in that way.
More.
Take you back to your days with the Celtics, things you remember, things were really good, things that you look back and say, I wish I could have changed this.
There's a lot of things I wish I can change just because I'm on the outside looking in. So that's a lot of self-isolation, self-looking in the mirror and knowing that, there was things that I could have done that could have changed not only me, but my family's lifestyle. Honestly. And, I found that out at 28 years old today, as everybody keeps asking me if I'm sick because I'm so skinny due to the pandemic, and it's just, the best thing about being a Celtic is being a Celtic, if that makes any sense. There's nothing better than being a Celtic, just because all the people that stepped in front of you, yourself, Larry Bird, Bill Russell, Bob Cousy, KG, Paul Pierce. Like there's so many, Kevin McHale. There's so many great Celtics that kind of fell under that umbrella to the point where you have a standard about yourself that you got to hold, and it's an unfair standard, but it's the Celtic standard.
One of those things I look back on, and I constantly, I've told this story probably maybe 12, 13, 14 times on my podcast. I said, Eric Sullinger used to just talk shit to me all the time. And you ain't do this, you ain't do that. I remember one time you told me, I'm going to talk about you so bad, you're going to want to fight me. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to fight you. But the story that went on was the summer that you left and you came back and you saw me the first day of practice and you going, I got a newfound respect for you. I'm like, why? He said, I talked to Moses Malone. And I asked him, what about Cornbread? Motherfucker. I tell that story. And can you tell me a little bit about that story and why you were on my ass like that? I love it.
I think because you started it. You was on my ass first, I think. And so ever since then, it was like that love-hate relationship that we always had. And so, as we was going around in the NBA, you seen all the former players, and we always talk about Lonnie Shelton. That was like our go-to conversation, Lonnie Shelton. So like we go around every NBA team and we ask all the former players, what about Lonnie Shelton? So for the first time, when I seen Moses for the first time, I decided to ask about you, and instead of Lonnie Shelton, and he told me, he said, Cornbread was a motherfucker, and I was like, what do you mean? He was like, he was the guy that you just did not mess with, because if you hit the switch, you was in trouble, and that's when I found a newfound respect for you, because I was just like, if Moses Malone is saying that, then I'm pretty sure that a lot of more people will say that as well. So I didn't need to go searching for Cornbread anymore. I knew who Cornbread was.
that was one of those stories. Everybody he said, what? I said, yeah, he was talking about Moses, and Moses said this, and the way you said it was like you were mumbling. I was like, man, I said, but that was my guy. What did you learn from Moses when you played him? Because you had him in a camp, and you had John Lucas also during the summer camp. What did you learn from those guys?
John, I think the biggest thing with John, he's so old school to the point where it was just like, I'm at home. My dad's an old school coach. You know how he is. Everything got to be done this way. There's no variations to the work. And I think that's what John Lucas really introduced to me, like going back into that old school grind where, you know, the only thing you can focus on is basketball. And I think that's what John did. And then Moses always used to tell me, just rebound. That's what he did. Just rebound. Just rebound. And he said that will get you on the floor. And sure enough, I think that year I came back, I was out the lineup and we wasn't rebounding well. And one thing I can do, and I can always do, is rebound. So that's what got me back into the lineup. And you know, I miss Moses all the time. You know, it was tragic how he passed, but the little bits and pieces that he gave me was very powerful.
I just want to take a second and talk about Marigold with their stem cell research has been amazing. I went and did an evaluation, and I ended up getting a shot. And I'm hoping right now I'm going to be back on the court. These guys were brilliant. They communicate well. They give you an education on what it's like. And that is what really, to me, won me over, because not only were they going to give me an operation, a procedure, but they were going to educate me about this procedure. And in learning and being comfortable, that is how you get well, and that's how you become partners. And my big shout out to those guys. They did a fantastic job. Check them out at marigoldmedical.com. That's the place to be. You know, guys,